So, first of all, did you grow up in the Bay Area?
I did.
In Redwood City, California.
I was born in Tucson, Arizona.
I was born in Minneapolis and I grew up there.
The answer is Fort City.
I was born in Nairobi, Kenya.
Born and raised in the peninsula.
I grew up in Minnesota, about an hour north of Minneapolis. It is kind of a small town.
I grew up in Forest Grove, Oregon.
Yes, I grew up in the Bay Area.
I was born just before the baby boom generation, so I was ahead of the baby boom generation, and so I didn't have the competition of all the baby boomers.
Yeah.
So high school, everything was easy. School was easy. It wasn't crowded. That was after the war, so there were a lot of new schools. For instance, I opened the junior high, Ray Lyman Wilbur. It was the first year it was opened. And so I had a lot of very nice experiences because I didn't have the competition of all the baby boomers.
We played things like jacks, a thing called Hopscotch, where you drew on the sidewalk and you hop to the different numbers. Maybe you've played that, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I have.
And different games in the street, like softball and everything. A lot of make-up games we made up ourselves, you know, that kind of stuff. You didn't have material toys like kids have nowadays.
Oh, definitely. I was a little kid when they were doing the moon landings, and that was, like, completely exciting. At that time, there were only, like, 3 or 4 TV channels. That was it. And during the moon landing, it was, like, from 8 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. That was all that was on. It was like they would, have coverage of the space mission. It was like on a Sunday afternoon, so we all stayed home and watched it.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's funny because I remember the kid not being the picture that came back was so murky. I couldn't really figure out what was going on. And it was only later when I saw it replayed as an adult. It was like, oh yeah, that's his backpack and there's his helmet. Because it's, the footage was really terrible. Well, it was old TV being beamed from the moon and then, processed through God knows what to be sent to, stuff here.
Oh, I thought the space race was wonderful on that, and it was John Kennedy that started that and said that we were going to be on the moon in 10 years, and we were on, I think, in 9. So, and even though it costs a lot of money, for the government, there's an awful lot of spin-off things that came from from all the research and development trying to get the rockets, into orbit and into space, and all the other developments. Very, very proud of him and the whole space program.
I think I typically think, when Americans can stand up against injustice, and when I feel like justice wins, I do feel like I'm glad to be in America. I mean, just a recent example, I think, is when the courts kind of struck down the Muslim ban that Donald Trump put into place. I felt, okay, well, that means that our court system works. That one president who has this sort of extreme agenda can't just push something through. Or at the same time, there were people protested against that. And I went to some of those protests, and I felt like that was the time when I felt like, okay, I'm using my voice as an American, I'm using my rights as an American to stand up against something I think is unjust. I was growing up, just coming out was difficult. It was nearly criminal to be gay. It was really looked down upon. And when I told my mom, she asked me and I told her I was gay, she thought I was going to have this hard life because that was going to be really difficult and there's going to be all these people oppressing me. And I think I was scared of that too. But then, it became, every year it became easier and easier until now, especially in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I mean, because I grew up in a community where there were a lot of, I guess, progressive people at that point, and we were very conservative as a family, I guess you could say. Those were kind of the wild ones, and so it was. My mom tried to shelter us and protect us, if you will, from some of what was happening in our midst.
You go to my school at lunch. You go to my school, after school. And you will see, just on the main quad, the main green, you will see the race groups separated out. Ridiculously so. And so while, obviously, the issue of race has progressed past slavery, progressed past the civil rights movement, it's still an issue at Menlo Atherton, high school in a Silicon Valley in California, one of the most open communities in the world. We're not hateful, but we're still segregated.
During the war, the people all came together and helped in any way they could.
Mm-hmm.
They sacrificed. We are on food stamps. They sugar and things were rationed. They were very caring. They donated their time and effort to the war problems. Almost every family had one serving.
Mm-hmm.
There were many heroes, many people, lost in the war. Did any of my brothers serve?
Yeah.
Yes, they all served except one, Zig.
Mm-hmm.
He was couldn't pass the test. He was not healthy enough to serve. But the other ones all served.
With 9/11, yeah, everybody was, it was for a good year. You would just drive around neighborhoods and see flags everywhere on that, and yeah.
I remember just thinking, oh, that is just horrible. The first woman, the teacher that went up into space, and they just blew up. It was heart-wrenching. It was sad. It was, I don't even know how to express it. You're just shocked because it's not supposed to do that. That's not supposed to happen. So, yeah, that was pretty bad. I do remember watching that, and that was pretty bad.
Yeah, I think we were really sheltered, and so I don't know that we were really kind of in the know. Even we didn't have social media, we didn't have a lot of TV. If we did watch TV, it was the Brady Bunch or something that was wholesome. I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
Funny Carol Burnett show. They didn't really talk or address those topics, I guess is the only way I could say it.
I remember when I was little, just like in Africa, we didn't have that many things just because our family lived very simply. Me and my sister would play dress up or play like with our imagination, and now I feel like this generation has a lot more technology and things that they have like right at their fingertips. They don't really have to think creatively or use their imagination if they're bored. So I definitely think that the generations are changing. I can see the contrast between how I grew up and how my younger brother is growing up.
It was mostly male, but I never thought about it because I grew up with my brothers and all his friends, all of their friends. And one time, after I worked for many years, a young lady came out as I came out of the electron microscope room. She says, "I have to thank you for paving the way for us girls." What? I didn't know I was paving the way. I was doing what I wanted to do.
Wow.
There's something happening here, but what it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. If the think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. There's battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds are getting so much resistance from behind. Every time we stop, hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a field day for the heat. 1,000 people in the street, singing songs and a carrying signs. Mostly say hooray for our side. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Paranoia strikes deep into your life, it will creep. It starts when you're always afraid. Step out of line, the man come and take you away. We better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going. We better stop.